GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Toronto. I'm Jordan Parker. A family is suing the city over disabled children housing reimbursements, and health officials have warned of possible measles exposure at Scarborough Hospital. Plus, the taste of the Danforth returns after 2 years. Over to you, Nathan.
The Toronto International Harp Festival 2026 launches July 27, running through August 2, hosted at the Harbourfront Centre with 24 acclaimed harpists from 5 continents.
Early bird tickets cost $25, regular admission $40, and a family pass at $90. Available online and at the center's box office starting today.
The program includes daily master classes, a midnight concert series, and a community harp-making workshop on Saturday afternoon, free for all ages, encouraging local participation.
That's a wonderful preview of the Harp Festival, and with so many melodies awaiting, lots to get to, let's begin. Good morning, Toronto.
Toronto family has filed a lawsuit against the City of Toronto, claiming the municipality misled them about eligibility for reimbursements on a housing development intended for their 3 disabled children. According to the filing, city staff assured the family that the project would qualify for development and planning fee reimbursements, but the city later denied any entitlement. The complaint alleges that the promises influenced the family's decision to invest in the specialized housing, and that the subsequent denial left them facing unrecoverable costs. City officials have not commented on the specifics of the allegation, but a spokesperson said the matter is being reviewed under existing municipal policy. The claim was lodged in the Ontario Superior Court of Justice in Toronto, seeking compensation for the denied fees and a court order clarifying the city's reimbursement criteria. The case remains ongoing.
Toronto health officials issued a public warning this past week after detecting a possible measles exposure at Scarborough Hospital and a nearby walk-in clinic. The alert covers anyone who visited either site between June 28 and July 4. Officials noted that measles spreads easily and urged all potentially exposed persons to seek medical advice without delay. No confirmed cases have been reported, but the precaution aims to curb transmission. Residents should watch for fever, rash, or cough and contact their health provider if symptoms appear. The advisory was released through local media and posted on Toronto Public Health's website, linking to detailed guidance. Scarborough Hospital, part of the University Health Network, and the walk-in clinic on Ellesmere Road were specifically named. The health unit also reminded the public that up-to-date immunization is the most effective protection against measles.
Paige Buchers and Azzi Fudd combined for 39 points as the Dallas Wings pulled away from the Toronto Tempo, finishing 89-76 yesterday at the Coca-Cola Coliseum. Buchers contributed 22 points while Fudd added 17. Each showcasing the talent that made them the first overall picks in this year's WNBA draft. The Wings built a steady lead early, using crisp ball movement and aggressive defense to keep the tempo on the back foot. Toronto fought back in the third quarter, trimming the margin, but Dallas answered with a flurry of 3-pointers that restored a double-digit cushion. The victory marks the Wings' first home win of the season and gives the rookie duo a strong start to their professional careers, while the Tempo will look to regroup ahead of their next matchup.
City officials pulled the plug on the redevelopment proposal for the downtown property that houses the beloved bar and live music venue on Dundas Street. The decision, announced on July 4th, was met with cheers from regulars and neighborhood advocates who rallied to keep the spot intact. Officials said the plan, which would have seen the historic space torn down for a mixed-use tower, was withdrawn after intense community pushback. Patrons celebrated by gathering inside the venue on Saturday, raising glasses to the win for local culture. The move marks a rare victory for grassroots voices in the downtown core, where development pressure often eclipses heritage sites. Sneaky D's remains open, ready to host the next wave of Toronto's emerging artists. Fans can expect regular gigs from indie rock to jazz, keeping the venue's reputation as a launchpad for talent alive.
Debit and credit card transactions at Toronto's restaurants and bars rose only 3% during the first 2 weeks of the 2026 World Cup, a modest gain compared with the same stretch last year. The increase, recorded from June 12 through June 26, reflects the limited short-term boost that the tournament provided to the city's hospitality sector. Analysts note that while the matches drew crowds to venues around the downtown core, the surge in spending fell short of expectations for a major global event. Local owners said the modest lift helped cover higher staffing costs, but did not translate into a significant profit jump. The data, released by the city's financial monitoring unit, will feed into broader assessments of the World Cup's economic legacy for Toronto. City official said the findings will inform future event, hosting strategies and budgeting decisions.
Later, we'll break down how the Maple Leafs' new 2-year deal for defenseman Emil Andry could shape next season. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, folks. That commercial was quick. Now let's jump into the top stories that matter and over to Nathan Cole for the local roundup.
Emil Andry is now wearing a blue and white jersey after the Leafs sealed a 2-year contract on Tuesday. The Swedish defenseman, who turned 29 last month, will earn roughly $3.1 million over the span of the deal, according to the team's announcement. Management said the addition strengthens a blue line that has been juggling injuries and a tight schedule. Andry, who spent the last season in the Swedish league, brings a mobile style that fits the fast-paced system head coach Craig Berube runs. The club hopes his presence will give everyday fans a steadier defensive core as the playoffs approach. The signing marks the latest move in a busy off-season as Toronto looks to build depth for the stretch run. He joined the team at practice on Thursday and will debut in the next home game, giving fans a chance to see his puck-moving skills up close.
On July 3rd, the Brantford Bulldogs announced 2 major moves in their front office. Former NHL executive Brian Burke joined the club as senior hockey operations advisor, bringing decades of league experience to the organization. At the same time, longtime assistant Gary Roberts earned a promotion to vice president of hockey operations, taking on broader responsibilities for player development and scouting. The additions signal the Bulldogs' intent to compete more aggressively in the Ontario Hockey League, a league that draws interest from Toronto fans who follow the junior circuit and often travel to Brantford for games. With Burke's strategic insight and Roberts' on-ice background, the team hopes to strengthen its roster and deepen its talent pipeline, offering local supporters more exciting hockey action as the season approaches. Fans can expect a fresh energy on the ice this year.
Scientists told CBC's Talia Rixai Saturday that Ontario's insect numbers are falling sharply, a trend now evident in a greater Toronto area nature reserve. Researchers say the drop threatens the food base for birds, fish, and frogs that rely on insects for survival. Toronto families who enjoy bird watching in neighborhood parks may notice quieter mornings as insect-eating species adjust. The decline could translate into fewer songbirds visiting backyards, reduced catches for anglers, and quieter evenings by ponds as amphibian calls fade. Experts link the shrinkage to habitat loss and climate shifts, warning that a weakened insect pool ripples through the entire food chain. Local naturalists observed noticeably fewer fireflies and mayflies during recent surveys, underscoring the urgency for monitoring. While the study focuses on a single reserve, the findings suggest broader implications for ecosystems across the province, prompting calls for further research.
An Ontario judge has unsealed court documents that lay out how York Region officers secretly listened in on suspects, a breach that has now led to the arrests of several Toronto Police Service officers. The files, released on Friday night, detail the surveillance methods used and identify the officers involved. Prosecutors say the eavesdropping violated privacy laws and compromised investigations, prompting immediate charges. The arrests mark the first direct law enforcement actions stemming from the broader probe into alleged corruption within the Toronto Police Service. Police officials confirmed that the detained officers are being held pending further court proceedings. The judge's decision to make the records public adds pressure on the ongoing inquiry, which aims to determine the full extent of misconduct and restore confidence in local policing. The investigation team will review the material as part of its mandate. Further court updates are expected as the case proceeds.
Police disclosed that an inmate and a corrections officer at the Toronto South Detention Center were investigated for an alleged conspiracy to murder a senior corrections officer. The probe, conducted under the Project South operation, resulted in the issuance of more than 50 warrants, but neither suspect faced formal charges. Authorities said the two individuals were believed to have coordinated the plot, prompting a swift investigative response on Friday evening. While the investigation uncovered extensive planning, prosecutors ultimately determined that the evidence did not meet the threshold for indictment. The case underscores the complexities of managing security threats within correctional facilities and highlights the resources dedicated to preventing violence behind bars. Officials confirmed the matter remains closed, with no further legal action pending against the parties involved. Family members of correctional staff have been briefed on the outcome, and the facility has reviewed its internal safety protocols.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what weather's bringing to our city.
A weakening ridge and a westerly jet keep the sky stubbornly overcast as moisture stalls over the lake. On this date, the all-time high sits at 36 degrees, recorded during the 2012 July heat wave that pushed the lake effect breeze to its limits. The all-time low is 13.3 degrees, set in the 2006 early summer cold snap when an Arctic air mass slipped south behind a stalled front. By contrast, the climatological average high hovers around 23 degrees and the average low near 19, underscoring how today's temperatures sit comfortably between the extremes. Those benchmarks remind us how a modest pressure gradient today will keep conditions steady rather than extreme. The live radar shows a clean swath of blue across southern Ontario, with no echoes over the city or the lake. A weak upper-level disturbance is drifting eastward, but the westerly jet at 100 km per hour is steering any moisture well north of our region. With high pressure aloft and the air mass stable, we expect the sky to remain overcast but dry through the afternoon and into the evening. At noon, the city sits under a thick overcast with temperature 23 degrees, humidity 65% and a light northeast breeze gusting to 19 km per hour. Pressure is near average but easing lower, signaling a gradual loosening of the ridge that has held the area for several days. Overhead, a westerly jet punching through the mid-troposphere at 100 km per hour injects modest lift, but the lack of surface moisture keeps precipitation at bay. The UV index reads 7, and the wind will peak at 22 km per hour from the northeast, feeling brisk across the exposed lake front. No weather alerts are in force, so the overcast will persist through the afternoon and into the night, with temperatures holding steady around 23 degrees before dipping to 19 after sunset. Looking ahead, Tuesday breaks the overcast with clear skies and a high of 25 degrees, low 19, giving the city a sun-lit afternoon. Wednesday's picture changes as a shallow moisture layer settles, producing fog that will linger into the morning before lifting, while temperatures climb to 26 with a low of 18. Thursday brings a return of clouds. The westerly jet will intensify, pulling in a modest rain band that carries a 25% chance of showers and pushes highs to 30, lows to 21. Friday stays mostly dry, but a stray pulse from the same system raises the rain probability to 35%, allowing a high of 29 and a low of 20. Saturday rounds the period with clear conditions, high 27, low 20, and a northeast breeze keeping the air comfortable. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll have traffic updates, a look at Black Coffee and the Harp Festival, plus the taste of the Danforth comeback. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
All major corridors are moving freely this morning. The Gardiner eastbound, the Don Valley Parkway southbound, and Highway 401 westbound show no delays. Surface streets including Yonge between Eglinton and Finch and Bloor between Kipling and Jane are clear. Downtown arteries, Queen Street West, King Street and Spadina are smooth. With no incidents on the network, commuters can expect a typical midday build-up. Look for modest slowdowns on the 401 eastbound and the Gardiner westbound after lunch as office traffic returns. Drivers heading west on the 409 toward Mississauga also report free flow, as do those on the 427 northbound toward the airport. No roadwork is scheduled for this afternoon, so travel time should remain consistent. Overall, the morning commute is unimpeded, and the afternoon should stay predictable unless weather changes. Expect the usual rush hour peaks around 3 o'clock today.
Toronto International Harp Festival 2026 sweeps the city today, with performances at venues across town, a must-see for anyone who loves the delicate power of the harp. From classical recitals to avant-garde collaborations, the festival showcases the instrument's versatility for every ear. Black Coffee lands in Toronto tonight, delivering his signature deep house beats that turn any night out into a pulse-quickening experience. His set at the venue promises a seamless blend of soulful vocals and thumping bass that keeps the dance floor moving. The FIFA Fan Festival continues at Fort York in the Bentway, streaming live matches and serving up food, art and music, perfect for a quick break or a weekend hangout. Mark your calendar for Zed's Dead's Journey of a Lifetime tour at the RBC Amphitheater on July 11. The electronic duo's high-energy show promises a night of bass-heavy thrills. Tickets are selling fast, so snag yours now to experience a night that will echo through the downtown scene. And now here's Marcus with sports.
Here's the latest on Toronto's teams and the headlines shaping their seasons. Sportsnet reports Kawhi Leonard has retained new representation and is actively exploring a contract extension with the Toronto Raptors, signaling potential long-term plans for the franchise's star forward as the team evaluates its roster strategy. In a July 5th showdown, the Seattle Mariners shut out the Toronto Blue Jays 4-0, highlighted by Mitch Garver's 2-run homer in the fourth and Emerson Hancock's 7 innings of 2-hit work, striking out 5 batters. CBC Sports NHL confirms the Toronto Maple Leafs have added defenseman Emil Andrei on a 2-year contract reportedly valued at $3.1 million, bolstering a blue line that aims to improve consistency heading into the upcoming campaign.
Taste of the Danforth in Greektown on the Danforth is back, and the city can feel the buzz already. After a 2-year hiatus, the beloved street festival returns this summer, with the province and the city each chipping in $200,000 to bring it to life. From 7 through 9 August, the streets will fill with music, family-friendly activities, and of course, plates of souvlaki, baklava, and fresh Mediterranean fare. Organizers expect at least 1 million visitors, a surge that lifts local cafes, boutiques, and artisans while reigniting the neighborhood's sense of community. It's more than a food fair, it's a reminder that Toronto's spirit lives in its shared tables. And don't miss the taste of the Danforth's big return after a 2-year break. Delicious food, music, community vibes will be right back.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
Toronto becomes a global soccer hub as the FIFA Fan Festival lights up Fort York and the Bentway with live match broadcasts, music, art, and food for fans of all ages. The energy is palpable as thousands gather to celebrate the beautiful game. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, Jordan Parker. I'm standing on the paved promenade of Fort York, the historic stone walls framing a sea of bright jerseys and fluttering flags. The scent of sizzling sauté mingles with fresh-cut grass as families spread picnic blankets near the giant LED screen where a World Cup match blazes in vivid color. Around me, street musicians riff on drums while a mural of a soaring maple leaf, painted in bold blues and reds, draws a crowd of selfie takers. Food trucks line the Bentway corridor, dishing out everything from Jamaican jerk chicken to Korean bibimbap, reflecting the city's multicultural pulse. Kids chase bubbles near a pop-up soccer skill zone, their laughter echoing against the old fort stone. Organizers anticipate thousands gathering each day, turning this historic site into a living, breathing celebration of sport and community. It's more than a festival, it's Toronto's heart beating in rhythm with the world's game. Carl Dumont, virtually at Fort York in the Bentway.
On a crisp Saturday afternoon at BMO Field, just beyond the roar of the World Cup crowd, volunteers in bright orange vests were lining the concourse, handing water bottles and guiding families to their seats. Among them stood Maya Singh, a 27-year-old who lives with Lee syndrome, her wheelchair parked beside the ticket booth where she had spent the morning checking scanners. The stadium's giant screen flickered, then displayed a special tribute, a golden pin bearing the tournament's emblem presented to Maya for her tireless dedication throughout the tournament's preparation and match days. As she lifted the pin, the camera caught the tear that escaped her eye, reflecting the floodlights and the cheers of fans who had watched a dramatic extra-time goal. In that moment, the noise of the game faded and the story of a community coming together felt louder than any chant. Maya's smile, steady, reminded everyone watching that the heart of the World Cup beats not just on the pitch, but in the hands of those who give without expecting applause. It's a reminder that every small act of kindness can shape a world-class event.
On a crisp Tuesday afternoon at the historic Maple Leaf Gardens, the city's newest hope, 21-year-old forward Gavin McKenna, stepped onto the polished floor alongside General Manager Kyle Dubas and a sea of eager fans. The arena was buzzing with the hum of local school bands and the chatter of families who have followed his junior career from the streets of Scarborough to the national spotlight. As Dubas extended the contract, a handwritten note slipped into McKenna's hand, a simple promise of 3 years, a chance to grow alongside the legends whose jerseys line the rafters. The moment the ink dried, a group of young skaters from the community program rushed forward, their helmets clacking, eyes wide, and lifted the rookie in a spontaneous, unscripted hug. That instant captured the heart of Toronto, a city that embraces its own and believes in the future it builds together. Tonight, as the lights dimmed, the smile on McKenna's face reflected not just a new contract, but a shared dream taking its first confident stride.
Thanks for joining us, Toronto. Today's look at the family suing the city over disabled children housing really underscored how vital advocacy can be. Stay tuned for more insight tomorrow on the lunch break. I'm Jordan Parker, wishing you a great evening. We'll bring you the latest on health alerts and city news.